look the beginning, don't make two accents, only one. So we feel a 4, and I would suggest vibrato on the beat note, and not always the beat note. You can make a little bit longer, so a little bit in the Baroque way. Now I'm sure, let's try once more. No. Keep the 4. Huh? Can you do? So be sure about the rhythm. No. Yeah, try to give M. It's the one that you don't hear so well on the computer, but yam, dam, ta. It sounds wonderful. I remember when I hear you last, when you were in Masato's house, yeah?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. But I think you made a lot of progress in the sound. Can that be?
Thank you.
You think so?
I don't know.
No, I feel vibrato control.
Mhm.
No, I have some things to tell, but now first we do a little bit of the music. But I think the sound is fluid, and resonance is there, and the vibrato control of second octave, important note is there. So it means your blowing is quite relaxed here on the chest. On the chest is relaxed, and in the look, can you see me? Ah, okay. So on the chest is relaxed, and on here is open. Huh? Okay, so let's do. Yeah, here take the trill from the main note because we have a scale. Yeah, make that also legato. Now here comes the problem. If the G sharp is a surprise, but if you do, is no surprise anymore. And if we do, it's too strange. So no turn. And directly the surprise is G sharp. And it comes 2 times, and then the third time is no surprise. So, then you breathe. Huh? Hit piano start. With tonguing. With tongue. Da-da. So here, when you come down, still you can be quite full sound. No? Like retiring in the syncopation, diminuendo, and maybe a little bit ritenuto, not much. Here you see you have two times the same note. One is the beat and the other note. Show only the beat note. No, it's too much. It's too much. The second B natural. Don't vibrate. Yes. Yeah. So just offbeat, don't vibrate. Yeah, but the beat vibrate. And now look the movement I make. Huh? Maybe the trill. It's so long, so we can start with 3 notes. Can you do it once more? So the tonguing should be like it's printed. It's a little bit intonation between second and first octave is a bit narrow. So make the change from G to on the reed. you see all the time that you change, you have two notes, second octave, then have one note, first octave. This is dangerous. You know, if you have, it's no change. So, like an octave lower, huh? You know, a little bit, I exaggerate, but your intonation was a bit, so second octave blowing for first octave, then it's a bit too high. Huh? So E-A. Let's just check. Let's check the reed. Second octave, C sharp. And so oh. You know, if you make a little bit longer the beat note, you're allowed to rush a little bit. If you make it completely rhythmic, it will be boring. But if you have then it is free, but it's also going forward. Yeah, so we can work a little bit on the intonation. I can hear you very well now. It's a good system. With we have the we have Truman, we have the I never did this, but I can hear you like almost like real, and you hear me well also. So let's look, I think, little exercise. Can you play G and you go to the A without correction? G, A, G, but don't correct the A. It will be flat. No, just the finger, only the finger. And now you hear it a little bit flat, and you make the small corrections where you swallow, like so. It's a little bit A-E, but more back the swallowing muscle. So I make a crescendo, so it gets really flat. Let's try so we get more fit in the. And yours is a little bit. No, it's not exactly. So make the exercise from the G crescendo, and you correct later with a swallowing point, like a small trill, yeah. Open, so it gets really flat. And so on. And then the C, it is AU, not AI, AU, like this. So AI, 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 A, B, B flat, B, and now C. Also the ambusher. It's different. If I make AI, I get a bad sound on the C. And now we make with correction, with a big crescendo and big vibrato. Yeah, can you make the vibrato at the beginning of the note fast? Don't,
Okay.
it's a little bit grandmother. Yeah, so you can make extreme no vibrato on the G crescendo. Ah, better. Ah, it's quite beautiful. So you're more sure. And now we have to do it the other way around, because here in the it's dangerous that you stay too much in the second octave below. So we do you understand the idea? We take G sharp, but we take always the low G sharp first, because that you don't need to correct. Huh? You can just keep. And see. Now we play the same passage, but all the first octave notes we will play one octave lower. So don't use the first octave. Yeah, so do it once more. You see that, but that's exactly how you have to blow also with the first octave, because people think A G sharp is just a half tone, but it's a complete different string. Otherwise we get into a small intonation. Take your time. It's quite funny. And now you play it normally, but you blow the same way.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, you realize the G and G sharp resonance is in the chest, yeah, here, and the A and B flat, and they're all in the head. So you can just think, the thinking goes very fast, faster than the finger. If you have second octave notes, yeah, it's B flat, C, A, B, all is in the head. And if you go down to the chest for resonance, it's suddenly for the G and the G sharp. So one moment without oboe, I need your both hands. So put one hand here and one hand there, just on the chest, not too high, more low. Yeah, okay. And now speak A, E,
E.
A, E.
E.
You feel the difference?
E. Yeah. E.
So you see that A resonance is here,
Yes.
and E resonance is here.
Mm.
And now the letter M,
M.
M,
N.
M, long nagai.
Yes.
Mm,
Mm.
you see, it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And can you speak slow? So M is the resonance sound. That's when I said to you, we want this. That was to have the resonance. Then short note is sort of jumping. Now we try A, I, U, E, O.
A. I. U. E. O.
Now Ma, Mi, Mu, Me, Mo.
Ma. Mi. Mu. Me. Mo.
You see, it's very, your voice is in the middle, but some notes are here, some notes are here, and the M is everywhere. Ma, mi, mu, me, mo.
Ma. Mi. Mu. Me. Mo.
So, this you can use for second and first octave. So, it's not so much only the mouth like letter E, A, because your mouth is anyways closed. When you play the oboe, you cannot speak A. A is open, but it's relative, so similar movement. But if you think first octave is chest resonance, and all the others is head. So when you play slowly, B is in the back of your mouth up. A is on the back of your head, where is a small hole. When the bone is finished, is a small hole before the what's heißt Hals? Yeah, when the bone of the head is finished, there is a small hole. You can put the finger. There is the A, and then B flat is in the room around the nose, and then C is the bones of the ear. So if you go slowly and you think the resonance point, that it stays down. Let's say this is no problem. Here the intonation is always good. But just in second and first octave is a little bit dangerous to play so in the middle of both, and then the second will be a bit too flat and the first will be too high, and it sounds a little bit like sour intonation. Yeah? Let's play very slowly. Can you find maybe note for note? You can use this like mi, do. It gives you a bit more resonance, yeah? And then you feel on where the babies put their thumb, there is the resonance point. Yeah. You feel it, yeah? And now the B flat is the nose and, you know, the room here that we don't know that exists, but when we catch a cold, it's very full here. Suddenly we know that there's a big room. So all the nose and that room is the B flat. You can change it with harmonic, like low E flat. And you will see the resonance change. Keep the octave. Okay, and now the A, so really it's not in front, it's on the back. I think more or less, you know, when I see from the side, I think it's where the reed would come out. In the line of oboe, there this back. So, here. So, with the D. Okay, and if you make B flat A and you think so, the B flat in front and the A back, you'll feel that it's right. And both can have the same resonance. And then the B flat C is face, ear. You know, the ear, of course, has a meat, but it's the bone of the ear. And inside, from one to the other one, you have a lot of bones. I just imagine like a string, violin string there that vibrates from ear to ear, because a lot of bones are there. And so the connection between those two bones inside is like, for me, like a vibration. This is the C. You can have the double fork. Okay. So, can you play slowly? And before you change the note, you think the new resonance point. Okay, and now we combine with the first octave. So it will be the G, I think so, and maybe the G sharp is a little bit more, you know, the clavicula here, but still chest. But let's say the G is this bone, and all, and G sharp is maybe here. Huh? Now we go very slowly. There is very important, you change the from head to chest. Yes. Yeah. Now, you know, I didn't want to talk about intonation. It was not, for me, intonation was a bit too correct, you know, when you first played. But I felt it's not the intonation, it's the resonance. Because some notes were not well placed. But it's new for you, this? Is it new?
Yes.
Atarashi. So, but you see that the good sound and the good resonance and the good intonation is the same point. So if you have the resonance point, and especially you change A to G, you see that both notes can be like main notes. But if you don't have the resonance, then it's always a little bit in between. We don't know which one is right. But we have to, you know, the thinking from here to here, it's much faster than the fingers. It's no problem. So when I have this kind of going around the change, I concentrate especially on the resonance point. So now that I have my earphones on, I can hear the resonance very well inside. So you can work the resonance. It's just G, G sharp. Yeah, it's 6 notes from G to C. Yeah, because for C sharp we have this resonance key here, and D is a lot of resonance, but it would be in the head up. Yeah, but you don't need specially. Yeah, if you want resonance point for C sharp, D both is just the top. Yeah, here, and if you want. Is much around the mouth, the teeth, and yeah, generally the lower than G, you feel the G here, but then the notes F sharp, F, E, C sharp is more all the teeth around the reed. But we don't need so much because the oboe gives. I mean, it's good to have an idea, but the oboe needs your resonance, especially from G to C, and that is exactly where this piece goes about here all the time. Yeah, you know, all the music goes exactly in that register. That's why I advise this piece for practicing, to give this kind of lesson. And you know, here you have had no other lesson with this piece, so you're completely free. If we do the Mozart C major concerto, you have had many lessons, and everybody says different, and at the end, you want to make your examination, but we can do it later. Yeah, the Mozart concerto, oboe concerto is of course important, but now for giving you lesson, it's better a material that is fresh for you. And here, yeah, I practiced a lot for exactly to stay the first thema, to stay in the resonance, you know, and when I started to practice the piece, you hear the difference. I want to show the G because it's the beat note, but I want the C also resonant. So we will now start once more. And from there on, maybe should play slower now to just to sync the play so slow that you can sync the resonance points. You start the tempo, and then from you make just rubato as you need. You hear that it's much better.
Yeah.
And also easier. And the good thing, you know, when you have to play a first note like orchestra, no? You can start to sync the resonance point, and it will always be right, huh? Because then sound, resonance, and intonation, they go together, because of course our instruments are built well. There where the intonation is good, there also the sound is good, and there also resonance is good. So here's this place you can practice. If you put some earplugs, you will hear better inside the resonance. So half an hour every day you put earplugs, and for instance this kind of music you play, and you can hear no outside anymore, so you hear only your inside. And when you take them off, keep this inside hearing, because then when you play in a dry hall, or you play in a church, or you play in a theater, every time the inside is the same. The outside changed very much. So if you're listening only outside, it's a little bit difficult sometimes in a bad hall to play well. But if you every day, half an hour, if you have time, you just put earplugs and you practice what you have to practice without thinking too much. First you will feel strange, and then after a while you are getting used to hear inside. When you take them out, you hear inside plus outside. You need outside for your colleague, for the hall, for if there is a fire, you need to hear. You need to hear the outside. But inside is the one that you can transport everywhere. So this, for me, is one of my important points when I have to travel around the world. Every time the acoustic outside is different. And it's not that every time I'm a good oboist when I play in a church, and I'm a bad oboist when I play in a theater, dry room. My inside oboist is the same. So that's my main friend, the inside. So if you start, we have now only 4 notes of the second octave. It's not much, but if those 4 notes get their private resonance, of course, like we said, E, A, all the oboe has the resonance until, can you knock a little bit on this bone here? Here, knock with your finger until the end. And you see then, okay, the end then is no bone. Yeah? But until the end, he is actually your instrument. This is your Stradivari. And this is only your string. Then here, of course, is the connection inside the room, but also over your teeth outside. It's all instrument. Now, if the resonance is there, you can play everywhere and you can be happy. and your intonation of this second octave, first, second octave, like this passage that we worked now, will be right, because when you hear the resonance straight, the intonation is straight. So this, I think, is a good thing to practice. It's very clear now. 今はあきりですね. Now we go on, and you know what comes now. All the flutists, they play faster, and I think it's a mistake, because when they play faster here, they play too slow at the beginning. But I hear many times tiram taram taram taram, very in love with the sound, and they're playing too slow. It's written 4/4, and then they have to go faster where we are now. Ta da ram bi, but we have the right tempo already. So, I have one thing I have to clear of the first half. You see the small notes. You know, it would be rhythmically the same to play just to Sanjunibun.
Yes.
But it's so in the book of Philipp Emanuel Bach, it's also the time of Mozart. He describes when you have small notes, it's very complicated the way he writes. But when you have a small note, it takes 50% of the big note, and of the 50% that stay, you take off 25%. So at the end, the way it's written, it's not 50% here, one. Well, it must be. No, it's 25. It's 25. It's Rokuchu Yonbun.
Yes.
But you know what? If you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 is a bit more, 4 is a bit less. But at the end, the big written big note will get very small. So the small accents, they will be like, or the small notes will be like accent. So give the accent to the small note and take off the big note. Can you try the beginning?
Yes.
Okay, take care of the resonance. Ooh. It's a little bit, yeah, okay, the last was better, but it can come out a little bit too high, your do, you see, because of the embouchure. You don't need now, the blowing is good, you don't need anything in the embouchure except the ooh, ooh, so maybe this way, but not this way. Okay, and your voice, ooh, down. Ooh. Yes. Ooh, and the resonance point, chest, ear. It's a little bit many things, but it will get like a fingering for you. You have a fingering, you know G. You don't need to look the keys. Your fingering is automatic, but this gets also automatic. Ooh. So you have three things. You have the fingering, you have
Yes.
the vocal, ah, ooh. You have the voice, ah, ooh, going down, and you have the resonance point. So it's now it's new. So, but I let you practice it. Huh? But then you have a nice free top C. Yeah, the voice is important to go down. Huh? Resonance point, the ear. Yes. And the blowing in top of your mouth, like where the babies put the thumb. There you should blow. Okay. You're sure to have here enough, you know the story, 10 to 1. Here, you have to be quite concentrated. Don't let too much air come up. Yes, that's it. And now, on the way to the next beat. Yeah, the resonance spot is important, and the voice down, but on the way to the next beat. Okay, now we have to, tempo would be, we take the tempo from ta da ram bi ram ba ram ba ram pam. So, and now it's not that the first beat is the most important, it's the third beat. And so it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 is off. Huh? Okay. Uh-huh. So, okay, until here, how do you feel? How do you feel about it?
Yes. Now is better and so natural. So I like this.
It's just maybe the A's are A is a little bit high for me. Because it can be maybe before you were biting a little bit the A, but you don't need. So try once more. Yeah. Yeah. The middle C is wonderful. Okay. Okay, okay. So Uh, so what we learned today is very important because those 4 notes of second octave, to have each note is private room. Of course, resonance is all the bones every time that you play the oboe, but they have their special room. Now I feel sometimes when you play the A, it sounds still like it's in front of the face, but it must really be back. B flat is here, but A is back, quite big difference. So this, of course, needs practicing, but it's practicing 4 notes, and it's the 4 notes that come all the time in every solo of the oboe, you know, or always every time we play in orchestra or also solo piece, we have always this register. And that's why my reed exercise start is always with C sharp and not with the middle C. That's not the middle of the oboe. The middle of the oboe is so you had a cleaning lesson now about these 4 notes of second octave, and to know that they are not the same. They have another resonance. Now, for instance, to go up, talking about the second and third note of the thema, you go up. I don't want to make full the C because it's not a beat, but it must sound good, so it has resonance. So we have the vibrato and the resonance. We have the voice that goes down. But you see, the voice, the oboe voice really goes from G to C, A, F sharp without interruption. It's 4 notes, is one group. But if I have no resonance on the high C, I don't transport the music. But if I make that's too romantic. So we have now many possibilities. We can make it big, we can make it, but we can also make it light but resonant. So now we have a difference. You have 3 times no, 2 times you have a so the first time you have to go to the door. Second time because it's finished. You see that last C was really good. You can trust this resonance point brings you always a good intonation. It was really good. And can you do it once more? You can bring it a little bit late, like an arpeggio. Okay, so we have, it's here, then behind, and the teeth. And all notes will be good. Okay. Okay, but what was not so good was the so it's a mi la. So there, of course, when you know mi, fa, mi, la, sol, sol, so it's like, oh, it's very complicated, I know, but in your body and in your thinking, you can be very fast because this is also the truth. So you think those places, but also you feel something happens there. So it's not only like something to think, it's something to feel also in the body. And automatically you will give less energy because you hear more your sound, so you will play more easy. Mostly when people don't hear their sound, they give more air and they give more power, and the sound gets always smaller because it's too much traffic on the street, so it gets blocked. So, but when you hear your resonance well, automatically you play more relaxed. So this will be whatever you play in the next times, you can work this. It's best to work in a room with quite dry acoustic like you have now. When you have a room with a lot of sound, the resonance from the room will be so big you cannot hear your own one. Now we jump to a he makes like a new gear. He changes into a new modus. No, no. So the small note is on the beat, like an accent. No, it's too fast. Tiram, pam, and. Tom, torariri. The quavers must stay the same. You see how the intonation is good now. When you have in classic music, when you have the same note, you should make a small comma, like a and not. That's a bit Tchaikovsky.
Okay.
I think there you can work more with the resonance. Just practice the resonance of because they're so different. Sol, La, Si bemol.
Mhm.
Play the three notes slowly. Maybe separate, and maybe with a second fingering that is harmonic. Do, do. Re, do, re, mi bemol. Re. La, re. Re, re, re. Di. You see that the harmonic is more in tune. So you see that your A is slightly high. So take it from the harmonic. So when you come back, take the intonation from there. E flat. Yeah, it's just one octave and a fifth lower, yeah? So these harmonics, they help you to find the resonance because you close many fingers, the instrument resonance is much bigger. And you have a big like a long bell, and then inside your resonance you can find better. But here, for instance, if you play without knowing about the resonance, all the three notes are not so good because you play the same, but they are very different. So chest, back, front. So that's first you have to do slowly, and the resonance will make the expression. So if you have the resonance, then you can give musical energy, but it has no expression because it has no resonance. So I don't need to give very loud sound because my instrument is already going out with the resonance. It's too high. The A is a bit too high. The A is a little bit too sharp. So check it. The harmonic is always good. I think it's a little bit biting from earlier times. Don't bite. Yes. Okay. No, the A is still too high. Okay, here give a little more M. With jumping. Here from the upper note, because you have the same note. The same note before the trill, then you must start with a higher note. Okay, careful, you have a beat on the G also, huh? If you don't show it, then it's too long time without beat. Okay, here, this last note, you must stop because there comes F in the second quaver. Di, ro, ra, ro, ram, pa in the tutti. So if you're still with the A, E there, it's very ugly. Okay. Di, ro, ri, ro, ram, pa. We go on. Now you can feel that when you start to feel this resonance inside, it's a bit like cleaning your mind. Every time that you feel that something is sounding, you can more relax your blowing, because you're not alone. Let's say it's you sound, yeah? You get the sound from the instrument and you get it back. So it's like a little bit like a little bit what you can reach also with a yoga exercise. So you go inside. I feel always like cleaning when I work this resonance places. I feel like I'm cleaning myself, and so if maybe I have a new reed a little bit open, I'm a bit forcing, and I feel I'm a bit out of balance. I start to work these kind of things to see what the instrument gives me, where do I place it, and how can I let sound my inside violin. Because with this I can go everywhere, what the whole is. But with this outside sound, big sound, but maybe in a theater it's small sound, because, and then I'm unhappy. Why today I'm so small? It's audition and I cannot play well. Yeah, but my inside sound is always the same. So this is a reality, and in the same time it is a sort of balance. You feel I give and I get. So you don't get tired while you play. But if the second octave is always a little bit like or biting or pressing or something, it's what makes you very tired. You know? And so today from the beginning I found that your blowing is going well, but I wanted to this new thing. Normally we cannot work on Zoom with resonance because it's just a thing we don't hear well. But we have found a good combination with the headphone. Yeah. So automatically the Zoom has stopped you have stopped your microphone. So I hear you from the phone, but the meeting is still on. I can see you well, two canons. And so we could just jump. This will be the same sort of thing for the rest. We could jump to a bit to Telemann.
Yeah.
So did I tell you about the sense of this Methodische Sonate? Did I tell you, or should I tell you something?
D minor.
So you see two lines, yeah? The first is a simple melody, and the second line, Telemann made ornaments. And this is the line that we play.
Mama, please, sorry.
So you see the second line?
Yeah.
It's Telemann made ornaments. So this is the line we play.
Second.
Yeah. It's from Telemann. So the story is this. You know about Baroque music and about ornaments, especially this kind of style, Telemann, Handel, maybe Bach not so much because he makes his own ornaments already. But we have a simple adagio and we can make a lot of ornaments. No? Telemann, he was giving a monthly journal to Germany. Every month he was editing, how do you say, like a review. Huh? So every month they came, like from Telemann. If you are abonnement, you get every month. So we know many things that he wrote. So he wrote, lately I go to concerts and people make ornaments that I cannot recognize my music anymore. It's like another piece. So you can make many ornaments, but it should be the piece. So to make a methodic of ornamentation, he wrote 12 Methodische Sonaten. There always the first movement has Telemann's ornament. So we can learn two things. One thing is, if you look the upper simple melody and you see what he does, you can see that he did very much, very full, but you can see how to make ornaments. So we could learn, like this is our professor, he's world champion in ornaments, we can say. Yeah? Telemann is the best. You see how complicated he does, but it's always, the music is there, the original. The second thing we learn is how to play ornamented music. Because ornamented music, it is in basso continuo. So we have the basso continuo with the numbers, and as the name says, it should be continuous. But the upper voice, if you have an arpeggio time in the cembalo, the upper voice is always a little bit later or can be longer. For instance, your second note, it's only a Sanju Nibun, don da 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 da. But while you play the first note, the cembalo plays G minor chord, and maybe this chord is not finished when you go to the A. So you should be on the G as long as the arpeggio goes, because your G is the last note of the whole arpeggio. No? You have so you cannot play, it will be too early, the A, because like a bit unpolite, you go away from the chord before the chord is finished. And if you have a good cembalist, he will make arpeggio. So we had it a little bit in the Mozart, but of course it's a little bit Baroque there. But here it's really, you have a beat note, has more time. So you could not make a metronome with this. And you see the danger is like bar 10. You feel yeah, but the beat note is only 1 out of 4. You see, that's much more interesting. If I can do. So that is the life of ornamented music. And at the same time, we learn how we could make ornaments. So it's always good to learn from the best. Telemann is the best. And then, so later, maybe we will do it together, but we will have, now you see his simple version and you see his ornamented version, but later take another one that you don't know, and maybe somebody takes out the ornamented version and you make your own ornaments and you think, what can I do? What can I do? And then later you look what Telemann does. Ah, this is a good idea. So we will do that, yeah, in Paris, but it's a good school to learn how to make ornaments. You know, when I see I would not know the second line. Huh? I would do something like that. Huh? It's not bad. Yeah, but now I look to the world champion. Yeah, and then at the end it gets very good music. Let's say it's not less good than Bach. So here we learn like those 3 things: how to make the ornaments, how to play the ornaments, and then about the basso continuo style, what you probably cannot be together with the bass always, because you have to wait. And maybe your G, your second quaver of the first beat, it will not be together with the A of the cembalo. Maybe you're a little bit late. Yeah, but it's arpeggio music. So don't worry, be together with the beat note and forget the other one. And then when you play with cembalo, tell the cembalist, to the cembalist just not accompany you. Just basso continuo must go on continuously. Huh? But you have not soprano continuo. You are free, and you are like the little finger of the cembalo arpeggio. So if comes a chord and you're here, you cannot go away from that note before the chord is finished. It means whenever the music gets more intensive, more harmony or more arpeggio, your beat note will be more long, even if it's a 30-second. So after that, let's go a little bit to play before we end. Just, it was explanation. Attention, you have a kusabi. You see that is also part of the ornament, is kusabi. Other play, yeah. and then legato. And so the other thing is don't vibrate upbeats, because vibrato means expression and an upbeat means a movement. So we have to choose. Is it a movement? You know, like you need an M, or is it an expression? But it's not, because it should be the expression on the E flat. So yeah, he forgot the kusabi there, or maybe not. There you have this with a small note. Legato. Dotted. Yeah. Yam dam. With M. E flat. E flat. E flat. E flat. Yeah. But look the legatos. Legatos is not good. Here. Yeah, here you see the difference. Short, longer. Now you need vibrato on the beat notes. Shows the difference. Small note, big note. Okay, Tsugi. Yeah, you see, the do, you vibrate. the E flat not, because it's not the beat. Yeah, also late because you see the now the beat note is an interval. So if you want to play a little bit in accelerando, you must start late. So you see my movements are always with the beat to be sure where I am. You make a movement. Make a movement. Otherwise, you forget where you are. Okay, here you can show your vibrato control on the beat note, vibrato. On the other one, no. And then the longer you go, more long the beat note, yeah? Because it's like a crescendo. If you make longer the beat note, the cembalist can make a longer arpeggio, means more sound. So in romantic music, we would say, and we go under the A. Baroque music, so the G is the end. Okay, move. In the middle of the A, you give the 2. No. The A you don't show. The A, you don't show the A. You must not show the A. It's not a beat. In the middle of the A, you have the beat. Uh, no, move on the one. Because it's a new harmony, it's a new D. Okay. We had a good timing.
Yes.
We had a good timing even with problems at the beginning. Do you need to leave the room, or are you in exact to stop now, or you have a few minutes more?
Maybe this room is another people
Okay.
come in.
Just I want to show you, if you have time, the last drill, re do. Baroque. Huh? Can you make the do like that? 1, 2, 3. Only the middle one. Yeah. So because it's quite ugly, yeah. This is a Baroque do. It's Baroque do. And then it's a nicer trill. Okay.
Yes.
You will have a nice dinner. I will have a nice lunch.
Yeah. Have a nice day and have a nice lunch.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Sayonara. So
Sayonara.
I close the meeting.
Mm.
And then